Right, we're live. You are live. Okay, today we're making love knot pendants. Let's just center the camera so you can see what we're doing. Get the light out of the way. Focus on the important things. The beer. There we go. Right, that'll do. Okay, welcome to Roberts & Co. Welcome to London, Friday. So we can have a beer like we don't every other day. Live at 5, it's gone 5, we're late as usual. Oh yeah, it's gone 6. All right. Today we're gonna make some love knot pendants, which I've been making the component parts and different sizes of love knot pendant over the last few days. You hear the police coming? It's Friday, South East London. I don't know how clearly you can hear the sirens, or they definitely interrupt when I'm recording a podcast non-stop. Well, I've ruined that. Right, let's turn on the YouTube copyright-free music, drown out the sirens. There we go. So yeah, we're going to make some of these. I'll give you a little close-up. These are let's start with the rings. So in a few days ago, I've lost track, we made a load of these little rings using the Durston jump ring former and 1mm wire. We made a load of these little 10mm rings using this tool here, the Durston jump ring forming tool and mandrels. 8mm mandrel, 1mm wire. We got rings just over 10mm, a whole batch of them. So that's great. There it is. So yeah, we made all these little rings and just began soldering them up. Some into singles and some into doubles or triples. And tonight, I think yesterday we did singles, doubles and triples, which will be friendship, pendants, some form or another. Then they're called love knots. There's loads of different names for these. I think there probably was originally one name and it's all sort of got jumbled up. Love knots, Algerian love knots, Celtic knots. Take a pick. I'll get AI to research it and find a suitable name when we actually put them in the shop. But tonight I want to make the 4-ring, 5-ring, which I did make a 5-ring on the first live stream, but I might attempt to make a 6-ring as well. So I'll just make one of each because I don't know how, there's not that many rings left, believe it or not. I used a lot of rings. The ones I make the least of will be the first thing to sell, like hot cakes. So if I make 1 6, that's what everyone's going to want. Another thing I was going to share with you in previous live stream, I made a silver chain. We were tidying up the bench. I had an off-cut of curb chain, so I made this pendant, which is basically a section of heavyweight curb, about 5mm, 6mm, as a inline pendant. So 2mm cable chain, and then that works as a pendant. And I've decided, I knew I had stock of that chain. That was an offcut from a piece I was making. I've got meters of it. So they're going to be stock. They're actually in stock because this afternoon I've actually so we're sort of live streaming building the business, how to build a jewellery brand, one live stream at a time. Yeah, so I made that. I found the chain, the silver one, and I've gold plated silver, vermeil, 18 karat gold plated. So I made that today. And they're already on sale in our shop. They'll be on Amazon, Etsy, eBay and that probably tomorrow. I've just got to wait for the barcodes and that take a little while to actually fully update. So I can list them on our own Roberts & Co website, but to get these on the others, I just need to wait for the everything to behind the scenes to update on there, and then we can get them on all the other platforms. But yeah, they'll be available, they are available. This is the 16-inch gold-plated silver. That's the 16-inch silver. They'll be available on 16, 18, 20 and 22-inch. So yeah, new stock. We're making new stock live each week. But that's what this is. That's what this will be. Hopefully in a few days' time there'll be a live stream announcing that they're in, showing you the finished products and that what we're making now are available in store. You want to know how much they are? You have to go to the shop and find out, won't you? Links wherever the links are. Right, let's make a 4 and a 5. I'm going to solder 2 rings together. No, what are we making? We're making a 4, 5 and a 6. So I need to solder 3 rings together, which will form the base of each one. I might as well do them as a batch. Save time and repetition. I think I'm going to do a whole collection around these. Quite considerable size one, which I kind of did before, but I never did it. I ran out in 2020 and never really sort of filled in the gap, so it's just a bit patchy. Although at some point I'll have to go back through and find the barcodes for those and figure out, fill in the gaps. Also been making progress on a gold ingot over the last few days, so I need to anneal that again. It's coming along. I'm concerned about it cracking, so I'm going really slowly with it. I'm concerned because it cracked last time. Hoping. I was just a bit overconfident with the rolling, and it's not something intrinsic to that piece of metal. But yeah, no cracking so far. But there was no cracking at this stage last time either. It did go a bit banana shaped, so I'm hoping it was something to do with the annealing or lack of, and maybe going through too many holes in the mill, in between annealing. Stressing it to the point of cracking, but we'll find out. Right, flux, bit of solder, I put the solder underneath the joint. It just gets pulled up by capillary action. It does if the joint stays together. I had this issue last night, and I adapted the soldering technique. The rings are under tension, so if I was heating up the whole ring, it was annealing and they were pulling apart. I did exactly the same thing yesterday, and I'm doing exactly the same thing tonight. So yeah, I just need to reposition those. The rings, I've annealed them rather than soldering them, and they've released, in the process of releasing the tension. Right, so to cool those down, I'll pick them up, just put them on heat sink. Just put those on a steel block to pull the heat out of them. So yeah, the way I adapted the technique was rather than heating the whole piece to sew before soldering, I was kind of very much focusing on the joint, and that did work. But I forgot about that. Solder has actually they say you can't fill a gap. That is a massive gap. Say you can't fill a gap with solder. You clearly can. Well, it look very good, but it's done it. I think these things happen when you're making jewelry, you know, as long as you understand why it happened and you can rectify it. You know, spending more time on a job is obviously frustrating, but it's not like we've got to put this in the scrap pot, which we just got to do what we were doing but twice. It's kind of how you learning from your mistakes. Melt something. Right, I'll use a very small piece of solder in each of these because solder has actually already flowed to some extent, somewhere on the surface of this. There's actually a ball of solder there on the block. You can use that. Obviously it doesn't really matter now that if I just focus on the joint because these are already annealed and have done whatever moving they're going to do, releasing the tension, but in the future ones of this job I need to remember that. So there are 3 base rings. Now we just start building them up. So what did I want to do first? A 4. I didn't do a 4 before. So I'll do a 4. Should I do all the 2s? Maybe I should just do all the 2s. Because then it will save messing around waiting for them to pull down. I'll do all the 2s and then all the 3s. But yeah, if you haven't watched in a previous live stream, we used a Durst and Jump ring forming tool to hand make all these rings. Work really well. I think once these are done, we've very nearly cleared off most of the. There's a little bit more tied up to do, then we'll get cracking. I've got a load of 18 carat and 9 carat gold rings I need to make. And get the ring former on here and bench block which we need. There's space for the tools, I need to do that in one shot. That go. Yeah, I kind of rely on the colour of the metal for soldering as much as, probably more so than the visual of a 50-50, I'd say. I can't do it in complete darkness. but you can't see the colour of the metal with a lamp on, or in direct sunlight. The background light in here is the Philips Hue lights on relax setting, 50% power, which works really well for soldering. I actually got them for filming, but I actually recommend them for soldering. Panned out pretty good. Well, there's two of them as well, two lights in there. Dropping the solder. Clean these tweezers after this go. Blame the tweezers. It's all the tweezers' fault. Because of that, because the Argotech flux builds up quite a thick layer. I'm using it with Argotech, which is a mix of borax powder and boric acid, I believe, and meths. It builds up quite a thick layer, which is good for the silver because it protects it from fire stain. But I have to clean off the tweezers constantly because it not only builds up a thick layer protecting the silver, it builds up a thick layer on all the tools. It's quite sticky as compared to other flux, like if you're using borax and water, everything gets a little bit, not sticky to the touch, but once it's all hot, it's almost, yeah, things start sticking together. It feels dry to the touch, but things start sticking together like that. One of the drawbacks. I can't clean these tweezers yet because the solder's balled up on the end of them, so I just want to heat this up. It's probably quite good doing this live because these are the kind of things, if you're doing a long format video, that would be edited out. It's kind of useful information, I suppose, for people. Yeah, to know the pros and the cons of all these things. Right, so I'll solder on that. Not have much luck with this one. Solder's kind of balled up for some reason. Trying to make it flow a little bit more around the ring, but it doesn't want to. Right, ring 3. Yeah, there's nowhere to hide doing live streams, is there? Can't hide in the edit. So I want to cut up some more solar. Got to make sure you get these on both rings, or you end up with magician's rings, not a love knot. I've done it. Not live yet, but I've done it. I did it with a wedding ring, not one of these. It's not the worst mistake I made. Probably the best one I've done was when we were doing ring engraving. The couples wanted, you had like the couple that their partner's name would be in the ring. I engraved their own names in their own rings. Like they're at school kids, and they're like naming their jumper or whatever. It wasn't funny at the time. It was expensive at the time. Didn't do that again. Dave had Dave in his ring and whatever. Sharon had Sharon Nurse. Luckily I noticed before I gave the rings to them. I just redid them, remade them. Music stopped for some reason. Let's get this back on. Right, this is the 4, so this will be the last ring we add to this. One of these will be the last ring. It'll be the last ring for the last one we do, because then it can cool down. When you regas these, they're a little bit more powerful. The power of them diminishes as the gas diminishes, which is something to bear in mind, because sometimes that's a good thing. And you know, if you're pushing the limits of what these can do, you really want them freshly gassed. But with little rings like this, you maybe don't. Right, clean those, are sticking. With each successive solder joint on these, obviously flux starts on the first ring and the second, and then at the first rings of these we did, the flux layers obviously getting pretty heavy now. Like that. Come on. Drop that again. Seems to have lost my dexterity with the tweezers. Right, then go straight in pickles. That's the 4 done. Now we do a 5. 2 5s. And a piece of solder there. Yeah, it's important not to leave solder kicking around in there, because the next golden I do will find it. Turn that off. Try not to open the ring up too much, but it's so clogged up with flux at this point. That cools down, that'll be the 6. So now we need to do this one. This will be the 5-ring version. Still need to get a new torch. It's a shame because it works, just the lighter mechanism's going. It doesn't seem to want to work on the electric torch lighter. Right, so that's the 5-ring one done. Now we turn this one into a 6, which I haven't tried before. This might look a bit cramped, but we don't know until we try it. Stack the tweezers together. Great. That's why a lot of jewelers dislike using meths and flux. You can see why. It does have its advantages on silver. Now I'm hoping this will work because these are quite a loose fitting design, the 1mm by 10mm. I think this will work. But if it was 1.5mm wire, no chance. A little bit of heat sink on that one because of all the silver hanging off of it. Right, pop that in there. Right, what I'm going to do, I'll show you what they look like, but obviously that one's going to take a few minutes to clean. So what I'll do while we're waiting for those the flux to clean off, because they won't sit right until that flux is cleaned off, I'm just going to anneal this ingot. Actually, let me show you the ingot because we've been working on this. If you've been watching the last few live streams, working on this for a few days now. 9 carat yellow gold. Need to anneal with that. For this, I do want this torch fully gas and full power. We get this up to a dull red, cherry red. At this length is kind of pushing the limits of this little torch. Get up to a dull red, hold it there for a minute or so, make sure it is fully annealed. Yeah, it's definitely taking a little bit longer than it has in previous days when it's been a bit shorter and fatter. At some point I have to use the micro welder on it, which is probably the next time we do it possibly. Right, I think that's done. Quench it in the water. I bet this board's going to be hot because it took quite a while. Yeah. Right, see how our pendants are looking. These will probably still need cleaning, but we can definitely take them. They'll still need longer in the vehicle to get all of the flux and fire scale off. We can definitely take a look at them. See how the 6 ring one is handy. I've won that one, is it? The more ring, actually with this size, the more rings, the better they look actually. I think that might be the 4 looks pretty good. 4, actually the 5 looks pretty good. These look, that one doesn't look too good actually, that one there. That was that one, that needs cleaning up quite a lot. I might even have to replace that ring. That was the ring I had a few problems with. Yeah, the more rings, the better these ones look actually. I'll get AI to do the research and see what, you know, what constitutes a Celtic one. It'll come up with something else on it. So that's the 4. Yeah, I think the 5 and the 6 actually look pretty cool. Because I wasn't sure if the 6 would work. It's come out pretty good. So yeah, make a couple more of those, polish them up. Production. Right, that is it for tonight's live stream, I believe. Just got to wait for the ingot to. Oh, let's pop these back in. They need longer. One of the rings on one of those might need replacing, but we're pre-polish them, and then I've still got some more rings left, so we're in business. Hopefully I can be able to get those polished up tomorrow, start getting them in the shop. The Strella's going down well, as always. Right, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one, probably tomorrow. Toodles.